Like me, you've probably recognised many of the faces in those pictures.
The principals, Bill Woodfull, Brigadier Langley, Ted Thompson, Laurie Collins and Lou Barbaras. There were the teachers, Ben Munday, Barry Marr, Roy Marr, George Rowney, Roy Barlow, David Niven and who could forget Stewie Robertson. Then there are the old boys, men like Bluey Truscott, Lindsay Fox and Neil Roberts. Politicians, Gareth Evans, Alan Stockdale, Brian Howe, Simon Crean and Barry Jones. There's Ron Clark, Henry Volk, Ralph DeBell.
The list goes on, and like you and me, they are part of the history of Melbourne High School, a history built on tradition. I guess we all have fond memories of our time at the old school here on Forest Hill. These are the memories that stay with us for life.
There is always one which stands out as special for each of us. It may have been the time you were hauled over the coals for sneaking up the sixth formers' stairs. The long hours spent rehearsing for the school opera. Being part of the footy team when you won against Uni High. Maybe it was rowing against the public schools. Or the anxious hours of sitting the final exams and awaiting till January for your marks. Then again, it may have been the school camp at Tacoma, or perhaps when you served in the school cadets when Jack Baker, Ben Munday or John Grigsby were in command.
Whatever the reason, our school days are usually a time to look back on with pride and pleasure. Because of what these memories mean, we all share a common bond. We are old boys of Melbourne High School.
The old school has given rise to some sparkling careers. It has educated judges and politicians, businessmen and scientists. But just as importantly, it has given ordinary men, like you and me, a chance to make the best of our lives.
There wouldn't be one amongst us who would not have benefited from his contact with the school.
What is his name? What name you for? Rupert?
Academically, it has always had a fine reputation, but its contribution to sport and culture have been equally significant.
Good.
From its early days, Melbourne High School has remained the premier school of the state. Some say it's the best in the nation.
Teachers vied for the opportunity to teach here. It was an honour for them to be chosen, and they responded with dedication and commitment. Today, that reputation for academic success is being upheld by the present staff and the boys of the school as they prepare for careers in science, technology, engineering, accountancy, teaching and the law. Perhaps, like all of us at the time, these boys don't quite appreciate yet the advantages and privileges that are being extended to them.
But the school now needs your help to continue to offer the standard of all-round education we would like the future boys of Melbourne High School to receive in the 1990s and beyond. You'll no doubt remember the swimming pool complex adjoining Chapel Street, which was built in the late 50s.
At the time, it was an ambitious project and provided the training ground for many Olympians like Graham White, Steve Foley, Andrew Whiteman and Jeremy Fox.
Today, with land in this area at a premium, the poolside is being redeveloped to provide a 4-level complex incorporating a new library, additional science laboratories, the centres for music and physical education, including a deep water pool.
It will offer the facilities necessary to train the achievers of tomorrow. During the 60s, 70s and 80s, additions began to appear in the quadrangles of the school. The first to go up was the distinctive circular library building, which relieved the pressure on the hopelessly inadequate facilities that existed before. Here, the school not only provided a well-stocked library, but expanded study areas. In the 70s, a fully equipped science wing was built in the southern quadrangle. This wing also provided eating and meeting areas for the boys during lunch hours.
But even these new complexes haven't prevented the accommodation problems now facing the school. Today, the old school is bursting at the seams.
Due to a reduction in class sizes to a maximum of 25. It no longer has sufficient accommodation in the main building to provide the facilities necessary to offer a first-class, well-rounded education in the 1990s and beyond. So for more than 15 years, the school has had to resort to portable classrooms just to keep pace. This building that we remember so fondly is no longer the tower of strength it once was. Time and lack of funds are taking their toll.
Look, here in room 2, like these young fellas, I used to do pure maths in here. Now the walls are literally falling apart.
The school tower, which has been a landmark of Melbourne for nearly 70 years, has been closed. It is in such a poor state that it's no longer possible to conduct any classes up there at all. If much more deterioration occurs, it could well be condemned.
You and I have a vested interest in seeing that this school survives. Not only is it a part of your life and mine, but it must continue to offer a standard of education second to none in this state.
The teachers here in the 1990s know that they are educating boys that will one day become the leaders of this country, not just in politics, but in a range of disciplines that will shape our very future. To do this, adequate facilities must be provided and the buildings properly maintained. The state government has agreed to contribute $10.6 million to a major works program for the school. But it is a conditional grant requiring a significant input from the school community.
Colin Green, a teacher at Melbourne High and the immediate past president of the Old Boys Association, has been put in charge of raising more than $2 million as part of our contribution to upgrading the school.
The total structure will provide the current boys at the school with new facilities instead of the 16 portable classrooms that we've had for many years, and it will provide the current students and the Old Boys community with an ongoing facility well into the 21st century of an excellent standard.
For most people, when their school days have passed, they've gone. For those of us fortunate enough to be Old Boys of Melbourne High, there is a pleasure in looking back at a school and an education that has prepared us for life. When we were learning, we looked to the school for help. Now the old school is looking to you.